Hello children, we continue with the concave mirror. So today's section onwards we are going to focus well on the image formation by a concave mirror. Concave mirrors and convex mirrors we are using to get different types of images. Concave mirrors can give different types of images, same way convex can also give some other types of images. But in the case of a plain mirror, that always give you the same type of image, that is always virtual, always erect, always with the same size as that of the object, and it remains with the same distance from the object. But in the case of the spherical mirrors can give you different types of images. Sometimes it can give a very small image than the object, and sometimes it will give an enlarged object or very much larger than the object used. Clear? And sometimes it can give real images, and some mirrors can give you the virtual images. Real images means really existing, virtual means not really existing. So that depends on the mirrors you used, and that depends on the conditions where you place the object in front of the mirrors. Okay, so according to that, they are ready to give you different types of images having different sizes and having different nature. Okay, and today onwards we are going to discuss deep about the image formation by concave mirror. After that we will discuss the image formation by convex mirrors. Okay, so let me discuss what are the rules for image formation by a concave mirror. There are only 3 rules for image formation by a concave mirror. So by studying these 3 rules, you can draw the ray diagram to study the image formation. Clear? And I don't have any concave or convex mirrors with me to show the image formation, and we study the theoretical part of this image formation, and later on you can see the different image formation from the school with the help of original concave and convex mirrors and different sources of light. Okay, so for the time being I am explaining all these with the help of ray diagram. So ray diagrams are very useful. With the help of that picture I can clearly show you the correct image formation. What is the nature, where is the image formed, and what is the type of mirror used. So for these all I use a special diagram called ray diagrams to study the image formation by different spherical mirrors or by concave mirrors and convex mirrors. So first of all, let me discuss in detail about the image formation by concave mirrors. Okay, so there are 3 rules. Look at the board. There are 3 rules. In the board you can see a concave mirror. Bend in surface is the reflecting side. This is the non-reflecting side. Pole, principal focus, capital F for principal focus, and the center of curvature, principal. This is the center of curvature of the mirror. So you are familiar with these all things: pole, aperture, principal focus, and center of curvature. And one more term, there is a small distance. This point PC or the point F is coming exactly between CP. If CP is 4 meter, CF is 2 meter. If CP is 10 meter, CF will be 5 meter. Okay, or the distance between pole to the principal focus is called focal length. The distance between pole and this distance is called focal length, and that is denoted by a letter, small letter f. Capital F for principal focus and small letter f for focal length. That is the distance between pole of the mirror and principal focus. Okay, that is focal length, and focal length is half of this radius of curvature. The CP is called radius of curvature. Okay, so half of that focal length. Okay, so we write focal length is equal to half of radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is R. So focal length of a mirror is equal to the half of radius, or R by 2. So this is the last and final term related with the concave mirror. So let me discuss what are the different rules for image formation. First rule, listen carefully. This is a concave mirror having a aperture m dash, and this is the first rule. This is the principal axis. First rule says that if a ray is parallel to the principal axis, that ray will strikes the mirror at a particular point and it traces back along the focus of the mirror. That is the first rule. A ray that is parallel to the principal axis strikes the mirror at a point. Definitely that ray passes through the principal focus of a concave mirror. That is the first rule. Clear? If a ray is parallel to the principal axis, definitely that ray will pass through the focus of the mirror. That is the first rule. Clear? Second rule, if a ray is passing through the principal focus, a ray can come in any way. Enormous number of rays are coming from the object. So that may be parallel to the principal axis. The incident rays are maybe parallel to each other, and they can pass through center of curvature. They can pass through principal focus. Okay. So this is a ray, second ray, that is parallel to the principal focus of the mirror. That ray becomes parallel to the principal axis. That is the second rule. We completed first two rules, and third rule, if a ray is passing through the center of curvature, that is also possible. The ray can come through any point. So we are placing an object in front of the concave mirror or the reflecting side of a concave mirror. Light from the object, light rays can come from an enormous number of light rays can come from an object. It can be parallel to the principal axis. It may go through the principal focus of a mirror, or it can passes through the center of curvature of the mirror. Okay, so we can expect any type of rays from the object, and it can go anywhere through the in front of the concave reflecting side. Okay, so here we are taking only three rules. What will happen if a ray is parallel to the principal axis? What will happen if a ray passes through the center of curvature? What will happen if a ray is passing exactly through the principal focus of a concave mirror? So these are the things. If a ray is parallel, that ray will definitely pass through principal focus. If a ray is passing through the principal focus, that ray becomes parallel to the principal axis after reflection. And third rule, if a ray is passing through the center of curvature of the mirror, there won't be any change in the ray. That ray traces back along the same direction. So here we have incident ray, reflected ray, incident ray, reflected ray. But for the third rule, there is no reflected ray. The ray goes back from the mirror along the same direction. So we should draw only one line for showing both incident and the reflected rays. Only one path for the ray. Clear? So parallel passing through F. Passing through F becomes parallel. Passing through center of curvature traces along the same path in opposite direction. These three are the three rules of image formation by a concave mirror. Okay children, I hope you understood the different rules of image formation. So in the next class we will discuss about, so you today itself you study, go through all the different terms of a concave mirror and you study the different terms, especially the definitions. You underline the definitions and study the definition, textbook definitions, and from the next class onwards or next test onwards, I won't expect any Google answers. I need only the textbook definitions from you. So you must go through the textbook. Textbook reading is very essential to make the content thorough. You go through the textbook line by line, underline all the definitions and equations whenever it is coming, and by heart it. By heart in the sense, try to understand the meaning and try to keep that in your memory for a long time. Okay. Then and the rules. What are the different rules for image formation by a concave mirror? So these are the rules. If a ray is parallel to the principal axis, that ray will passes through the principal focus of the concave mirror after reflection. Second rule, if a ray is passing through the principal focus, that ray becomes parallel. And these two rules are opposite to each other. Okay, so that ray becomes parallel. Then if a ray is passing through the center of curvature of the concave mirror, that ray traces back or goes back along the same direction or along the only one ray for showing it, because incident ray is same as reflected ray. So we should use only one ray diagram or only one ray to show the incident ray and reflected ray in the case of the last rule. So these three are the three rules of image formation by a concave mirror. So with this we completed the image formation, and in the next class we will be discussing the different image formed by. So wherever be the direction, or where are the different positions of the object, and where are the different positions of the different image formed, and what will be the nature of the image formed in different situations. Okay, so before that you go through all the things from the textbook and study all these properly, and after today's class you write these things in the notebook. Write the image form. First of all you write what is defined focal length of a concave mirror, then draw this figure, show the focal length in the picture, then you write the definition. With this you can use small letter F to denote it. After that you write the this equation, focal length is equal to radius of curvature divided by 2, or half of the radius of curvature. Okay, and after that you write what are the different rules of image formation by a concave mirror, and write these three rules. So that rules are also given clearly in the textbook. So read and study the textbook thoroughly. After that you attend the questions, write down the answers into the notebook and make your notebook ready with the, or you update your notes. Okay children. Okay, with this I conclude today's class, and see you in the next class with the different image formation by concave mirror. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.